Live every night on the Halos in the Infield Baseball Network.
Think about it. We'll get into everything that we're going to get into as we go along, but I got to rant real quick. But why would you throw out an inexperienced pitcher in a game you're still close in? And I don't care what the record is. You show up for a fucking rivalry game. But he's actually talking to him constantly. That is a sign of a really, really good coach.
It's the ToddFox Post Podcast with your host, ToddFox.
Because the only thing I want to yell is fuck! Hey, welcome into another, well, no, it's not a post-game show. We had no game today. Tomorrow's going to be a little interesting. We'll go over the post-game, and we'll talk about the Detroit Tigers and the Angels and what they do, because they got to get both wins. They can't just sneak away with one tomorrow. They're going to need both. Obviously, because Toronto won tonight, and then you had other teams win that we needed to lose, obviously. So that's not why we're here tonight. Why we're here tonight is the fact that the Angels busted a trade. And that's all you guys want to talk about, I'm assuming, and that's what we're going to get into, and we're going to go over it. Now, there's a little bit of, like, for me, there's a little bit of feelings involved with this one because of Kai Busch. We talked with him, me and Fernando did anyway when he first signed. Fernando got that interview right away, and I thought that was pretty cool. And he's a really nice guy. We talked to his family, and they were really pumped up, and we thought, good things were going to happen for us with Kai Busch. He was going to be one of these left-handers that most likely would have gotten a start this year. And then we had news earlier today that Perry Manassian was basically emphatic about saying the Angels are not going to move Shohei Ohtani, so ESPN can stop playing with themselves. They're not going to move him. The MLB Network can get their fingers out of their anus and start focusing on other players other than Shohei Ohtani and save all that to where's he going to go talk for the offseason. So that ruffled some feathers today, and then it was one of those things where it's like I had a couple people message me and say, hey, what are the Angels going to do? Are they going to make a run at getting an impact player or two? Are we all in? Because that was my only thing. It's like, okay, if you're going to hold on to Shohei, the returns aren't going to come in. Now you're taking a tremendous gamble. It was already a gamble letting it go this far. But now it's a tremendous gamble on, are we going to sign him off in the offseason? And then if we're going to hold on to him until the end of the season, you better go all in. You better not just say, okay, we're going to pick up a reliever here and a mediocre starter here and see what happens. So what the Angels did today is they traded Kai Busch, one of their touted best prospects in their system. Now, for his 2023 stats, he's 8 games in, 1-4 with a 7.20 ERA, 30 innings pitched. He's coming off an injury where he's missed most of the season. For his career, 34 games pitched, 8-10 record, 4.47 ERA, and 145 innings pitched. So you're like, okay, well, that's not really good, Todd. Like, why are you touting so highly on him? Well, he does have an extreme upside. Now, a guy that hasn't been injured and has been playing quite often for the Angels, and that's Cuero, the catcher, Edgar Cuero, and you're thinking, okay, man, we gave up this guy, and this guy's been killing it. When he was in Inland Empire, he had this year he's 256 at-bats between Rocket City and Inland Empire, 246, 3 homers, 35 RBIs. Including both seasons, last year and this year, and then IE mostly last year, 790 at-bats, 280 average, 25 homers, 140 RBIs, 15 stolen bases. Didn't really run much with Rocket City. So if you look at it right there, keep those numbers in mind. I gave you Kai Busch's numbers, 1-4, 7.10 ERA. You look at Edgar Cuero, 246 average only, 3 homers, 35 RBIs. With Rocket City. Now keep that in mind. Who'd they trade for? Well, the big fish was Lucas Giolito. Lucas Giolito from the Chicago White Sox. Obviously, the White Sox aren't going anywhere. And, he came out with his stats so far with this year, 6-6 with 3.79 ERA. 21 games started in 121 innings. He's allowed 106 hits, which is not bad because you're not giving up more hits than what you're pitching. He's allowed only 55 runs, 20 home runs he's given up, however, but only 42 walks, and he has 131 strikeouts already. So that's kind of good. That's really good. So those are his numbers, again, with a WAR of 2.6. So wins against replacement. So you got him, and then you turned it around and you picked up another pitcher, and that is Ronaldo Lopez. Ronaldo Lopez is 2-5 with a 4.29 ERA, but he's a hard-throwing right-handed pitcher. So he's got good stuff. He's like I said, 2-5, 4.29 ERA, 42 innings pitched, 33 hits allowed. He has 52 strikeouts in those 42 innings. So that's really good. Like he's got more strikeouts than innings pitched. You always like that. So that's over a strikeout an inning. That's very good. Now the rumor mill going around right now is the Angels aren't done. And there's talks with the Washington Nationals for Jaime Candelario. Now the rumor is, do they try to get rid of Rendon and send him back to Washington? Dominique was saying that on our message thing right now. He thinks that maybe something like that can happen. I doubt it, but you'd have to give up something good for this guy. Obviously, they're thinking that Rendon's vagina is going to continue to bleed, and he will not be able to see the field anytime soon. 2023 stats for Jaime are pretty good. He's got a WAR of 3.0. In 354 at-bats, he's got a 257 average, which is not bad. It ain't good either. I mean, it's around average, but at least he's not batting under 250. But his numbers, again, are pretty good as far as production-wise. He's not a guy that gets injured. He's got 32 walks with that 257 average, a 334 on-base percentage, 16 home runs, 51 RBIs. So that's not bad. That's a guy that could be in play for the Angels as well. That's the rumor right now that they're talking with the Washington Nationals. So you're all caught up. You're all caught up right there. The thing is, do you like the trade? Do you not like the trade? Lucas Giolito, again, came off some pretty good seasons, especially, I believe, in 2020 or 21 was his best season right there. He's not pitching bad for a bad team. I think his all-star appearance was 2019. I'm sorry, when he had 3.41 ERA. But if you look at his ERA in the season that shouldn't have counted, it was 3.48. In 2021, it was 3.53. Last year, it was high. It was 4.90. He struggled last year, and he gave up more hits than innings pitched. But if you look at his stats, every season prior, with the exception of his rookie season in 2016, his hits were far below his innings pitched. So he's done a good job. And he's the type of pitcher now where you wanted Sandoval to be. You wanted him to be that high number 2 behind Ohtani. Now it's going to be Giolito, and then you take a little pressure off of Sandoval or Canning, whoever you're going to put at 3, and then work from there on the rotation. Are they done? I doubt it. I doubt the Angels are done. But if you look at what they traded for, I mean, are you kind of happy? Is it something to where because again, Giolito is only a 1-year guy. You're giving 2 guys away that, Cuero could have just had a slow start in Rocket City. Kai Busch coming off the injury this year could have been a wash. What if next year he turns into the pitcher the Angels thought he would? Or he could just turn into someone that never makes the majors. Cuero could make the majors next year or the year after. They've basically got 2 guys for control. I mean, it made sense for the White Sox. They need a catcher. Gratterall or Grandal or whatever his name is over there sucks ass. That contract's terrible. Their backup catcher's not very good either. So they needed a catcher, and Cuero will probably get the green light if he keeps producing to come up to the majors. And then Kai Busch has got to work his way through that system. They do have a lot of lively arms in that system. and they just let go of Lance Lynn today as well. So there's some movement there for Chicago. It makes sense. But for the Angels, it's all in. Giolito needs to go for this year. Same thing with the other pitcher, the reliever. It's going to be a guy that's, doesn't have too much control. So you're all in right now. And that's the first move, I think, of a few. I think they're going to make a move with Atlanta. They could move here with Washington. And then who knows? I would love to see another power pitcher. I'm still not sold on, if Canning's your 4 or Sandoval's your 4, I'm happy, which means they need another big power arm. But I'm not liking Anderson in there, having to depend on him in a big game. Again, Sandoval, I wish we could depend on him in a big game, but if he's your number 4, then I'm happy with that. Let's get another starter. If we're all in, let's go all the fuck in. So it's nice to know that they said something and they actually backed it up. I give no credit to Artie Moreno because, again, I have to see what happens in the offseason. If he's totally turned a leaf and I'm completely wrong, then I'll eat crow. But until then, this is a posturing move right here. Again, he offered $500 million and said, well, I'm going to, in the offseason, we're offering $500 million. Well, okay, the going rate went up. It's between $550 and $6. So if you're putting 5 out there, you're just saying, well, hey, I'm in the running, but not really. So I got to see what he does with everything else moving forward. But we do need another starting pitcher, and I believe we need another outfielder. If you're not trusting Cabbage because philosophy doesn't trust the young kids, why are we going to trust Ward? Why are we going to trust Renfroe? I don't like Ward's noodle arm and his big ears and his lazy attitude, and Renfroe just can't hit the broadside of a barn. Give Cabbage a shot till Trout comes back, or go out and get another outfielder. Stop dicking around right there. And when Neto and Drury come back, please release or package Renifo in some sort of way. And hopefully Velasquez too. Don't feed me this bullshit that we need to keep him on the roster for late inning defensive purposes. I would much rather take my chances with Stefanik, a guy who could hit and a guy who could run, and he has not proven that he's a liability. But some people just keep saying, Nevin, that he's a liability. So I'm going to be good with that. And who knows? I mean, right now with a trade like this, it kind of broadside, hits you upside the head, and you start getting your inner honk going because you're thinking, okay, Hoppy will be back in a couple weeks. Trout will be back in about 2 to 3 weeks. Mid-August, this team could be at a full strength that we haven't seen all year. But you got some dead weight too. There's the Rendon albatross. There's the Renfroe. Those are outs that are giving up way too much. Velasquez, Wallach. You got to make some decisions. And again, Renifo's had a nice week or so of baseball, but what was he doing before that? Making errors and batting 200. So those guys can't be playing. And again, Squid has 5 hits in his last 6 at bats, or 4 hits in his last 5 at bats. Again, where was that before? Not there. Batting less than 200. So again, you cannot just take what happened over a couple games and be like, this is what we are. No. You have a track record. These guys didn't suddenly find their swing. If Trout does that, then yeah, I'll much rather believe that because he's got a track record. Those guys don't. So I'm hoping that Perry's smart enough to realize what fool's gold is and doesn't depend on these piece of shit players and realizes we need better depth moving forward. So I'm impressed. I'm impressed because the Dodgers went out there and they realized they screwed up by making a trade and getting that shortstop from Miami. He sucked. And they went out there and they got Ohio shortstop. They went out and got Kike Hernandez, and those are moves that you're doing patchwork, and but the aggressive teams make these deals early. And as an Angel fan, I think you can remember the last few trade deadlines where the Angels made deadline trades at the very, very last second, very last 12th hour before everything was over. And it was sort of like a knee-jerk reaction to another team, or it was just like, hey, we got to do something, and they did something, but it wasn't spectacular. And only time will tell if this Giolito thing will be the thing that the Angels need. but it was obviously needed that noted that we needed a starting pitcher, that we needed a pitcher that was going to, log innings, not be done in 2 innings and have a bad start or throw 80 pitches in the 3rd inning. We need a guy that's going to give us a good 6 innings, maybe 7, that can rival Shohei when Shohei's on. You know what I mean? And because again, we're taking naps every other day with our bullpen. Certain guys can't be used. So if you're lowering the innings pitched by the, if we're playing the philosophy, which unfortunately we have to abide by, since he hasn't been fired yet. We have to play the way that he plays it. So it's basically okay, if Shohei goes and gives us 7 innings and we only have to use Moore and Estevez, well, maybe they're not usable for the next night, and we have to go to Loop and Webb, the next night. Well, it would be in our best interest for Giolito to give us 6 or 7 the next night, so we don't have to use other pitchers, because God forbid we use guys back to back. And tax the bullpen even more to where the next night, because I don't even know what's going to happen tomorrow. I honestly don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. The doubleheader with philosophy is totally scary, because again, you can put together a fully rested lineup, having a day off after thunderstorms and whatnot and bad weather, and be like, hey, this is our best lineup. Boom, game 1. And then game 2, after Shohei pitches tomorrow and they throw Sandoval, then it's going to be a shit show lineup. Velasquez will probably be hitting 3rd. You know what I mean? It's like, Wallach's in there, all the scrubs are in there. It's like, why, dude? Just play the guys again. I mean, come on, but we're not. That's a story for another. We'll have to figure out what idiot does tomorrow, basically, Nevin. I mean, I can't get over that guy. Again, Perry, that's the thing that's going to piss me off the most. Perry's going to be giving you all the goddamn tools to get to the postseason, where, again, Rendon's out of his, that's not him. Rendon's just part of this team. That's Epler's fuck up, so like, that's not him saying, here's Rendon, take him, use him. It's like, hey man, Artie's saying use him. We got to use him. We're paying him way too much. Do your best, Nevin. But Nevin's making his lineups, fooling with the bullpen, going from one extreme to the other. If Perry's busting these trades and we don't make the playoffs, that's totally on Nevin. That's a Nevin problem. And I'll go to argue anybody who says different. Because if he's going to give us another ace, another pitcher to go along with Giolito and Ohtani, and give us another hitter, another power bat in that lineup, or someone that can get on base for the rest of the lineup, because if we get the Jaime guy, that's a contact hitter. That's a guy that's going to get on base. He'll connect with a home run every now and then, but he knocks in RBIs, gets on base. That's what we need, dude. That is what we need. We don't need all these launch angle bullshit. We don't need Renfroes and guys like Rendon and Renifos. I mean, Renifos should be a slap the ball hitter. Again, he'll get into one every now and then, but I mean, you're lowering your chances. I believe if he was just up there to make contact, hit the ball the other way, or pull the ball, or go for hits instead of home runs, make solid contact, Renifo could be like a 270 hitter. He really could. But we're in love with chicks hitting or chicks love the long ball, and that's what Nevin and Thames and all those guys believe in. So there's pitchers out there. So let's get into the comments here and see. Vetter saying, holy shit, let's fucking go. James Malou says, this team is buying. Let's fucking go. Mr. Moose says, Angels baby. Brad as a B says, buyers. Been a long time since we've been able to say that. Hopefully Perry keeps cooking and we make the postseason run. Hopefully. Good moves. Now we need an at-bat. We do. Buy and winning. So you guys are feeling it right away.
I'm buy winning. I win here and I win there.
Would have liked to seen Cease in that deal, Robert says. And Dylan Cease is not a bad pickup if you can get him, because just for that mustache alone. Perry Cooking, Fabio says. Chris Rojas says, what are your thoughts, Todd? Let's hear it. I just gave it away right there. Let's see. Lucas Giolito is a halo. I do like it. I do like it. Believe me. That's a good, solid pickup. Is that why they said they are not trading Ohtani? Exactly. Ray Ochoa says, great trade. Didn't really lose anything because we have Ohapi for the future, and Bush is more of a 3-5 starting potential. Yeah, he's one of those guys that, look, he has a Chuck Finley mentality, but I said the same thing about Sandoval. You need a lot more moxie than just having that. So, it's worth the risk. I guess you could draft another pitcher next year. Let's see. Also, let's see. What do we get here? Honk, honk, honk. Giovanni Perez says. James says, let's go. James also says, or Hunter says, look, Perry, great, or he's looking good. Balls, and we're buyers. James Malou says.
Tonight, it's time for you to check out what I want. I want balls and
buyers. Hunter says, one more lefty reliever, I think, because Tucker Davidson sucks. Yeah, I'm not going to go to bat for him. We do need another left-handed bat or pitcher right there. The Angels are officially over the luxury tax. What is Artie thinking now? He's thinking that he's got to get going. Realism. We are by winning right now. We do win here, a little there. We got to get to the playoffs first.
Playoffs? Don't talk about it. Playoffs? You kidding me?
Well, we made a trade.
I'm by winning. I win here and I win there. Wow, winning.
Exactly. Nate says we need more consistent hitters. We do. Camfrey says, I like the trade, but I'm just shocked that we went over the luxury tax. Someone must have talked some sense into that clown Artie Moreno. Well, you got to spend to win. You absolutely have to. There's very few teams that don't. Angels need Scherzer or Verlander now. Hell no, not with those contracts. They'd have to pay the majority of those contracts, the Mets. Tough price to pay, but you got to pay to get to the promised land. How long do we have Giolito for? I think we should have gotten more for those two. We only have Giolito for this year. That's it. And the best we get out of it is if he walks, is a draft pick. Who's getting Bellinger? I heard Texas is talking about Bellinger. Do we check in with the Cardinals for some more help? Not for their pitching. Don't check in for their pitching. Their pitching sucks, Michael. If we're going to get a hitter, yes. Angels aren't done yet. Honk, honk. Yes, absolutely. It is a Halo honk night. Tell me that the Angels are going to re-sign Ohtani. Go Halos. We are very far from done trading. I think the Angels are getting Stroman or Max. Trade Squid, Ward, Wallach. Yeah, those guys can all go. Candelario is a good player right now. Balls, and World Series bound. Angels Central says.
I was pretty cocky. I want balls and John Stamos.
No, he wants World Series. Rendon is that's not happening with that contract. Also, Squirrely Dad says Artie's showing that Ohtani that he's got what it takes to provide a winner. We have the talent. Hopefully, Shohei will see this and consider staying. Still not impressed with Nevin, bench or trade Rendon. Yeah, dude, I'm not either. I'm scared. I really am. Giolito provides innings. He does. Mateo says Angels are buyers now, win now, balls, and effort to get to the postseason.
I was pretty cocky. I want balls and
getting to the postseason. Yeah, you guys can call in 714-598-3221. Let's hear your thoughts. 714-598-3221. Starting tomorrow, Ohtani is going to start smashing because now he knows he is not going anywhere. I hope so. Giolito will give you 6 innings most of his starts, which is more than what our rotation gives us. There we go. It's the Halo Honk line.
Hi, Todd.
What's up, Hunter?
Not much. I'm honking.
Yeah, I bet you're honking. What do you think of it?
I think we maybe could have got someone else, but I feel like Perry did a great job, but if we could have squeezed someone else out, that would have been great. But either way, Perry did great, and feels like I don't. My dad says he doesn't even remember the last time we were over the luxury tax. I
don't think we ever have. I don't think the Angels have ever entertained that, going over the luxury tax. So this was definitely something that's different. Like for the first time, besides raising prices, not Perry, Artie's done something positive. You know what I mean? Like he's done something different. So this is definitely different. You know, I'm not used to them adding payroll like you said, and then going out there and being so aggressive days before, not just hours, but days before the deadline. You know, usually, like I said, the Angels will wait till if it's 3 o'clock deadline, it's 2:55. They're making a trade. You know.
Yeah. But that's how you have to do it, especially with teams like the Dodgers, who always just are trying to make the trade before everyone else. Everyone was saying Giolito was going to the Dodgers, but he went to the better Los Angeles team.
Yep.
Not the crazy fans. Us. Not the beer throwers.
Yeah, not the
The
fighters with
artichoke
themselves.
eaters.
Mm-hmm.
The artichoke eaters, as I like to call them.
The artichoke eaters. Well, we'll see if they're ready to go tomorrow. We might miss them for a game. I don't know what the moves are going to be, who's coming up or going down for these guys. I would have to say Gerardo Reyes will go down for the reliever, and
Lopez?
maybe Davidson too. I don't know, man. Or because there's
If I would go on.
I'm trying to look for guys that have options, so I'm not sure.
Yeah. If I had to, if I were Perry, I would make one more. If I only had one more move to make, it'd just get another lefty reliever, because you can't rely on Loop and Moore to hold everything down if there's a lefty that comes in, especially if we have Phil Nevin.
Well, check
as
that.
our manager.
Check that. I think if they go out and get another lefty, I'm all for that. But I think Tucker Davidson's going to stay, so I'm believing that they're going to send down Reyes and they're going to send down Stefanik. Like if I had, because you're not using him, you know what I mean? So I don't want to see him go down, but I guarantee you he's probably one of the dudes that goes back down. He's got a ton of options, so it's probably going to be him.
Yeah. And last thing before I go.
Yeah.
I think if there was a perfect scenario right there, we could have got one of their pitching prospects that was I forgot his name, but he was ready, and he would have been what we did with Joyce and Bachman. Just put him in the bullpen to start.
Yeah.
Because he was a lefty, and he wasn't high ranked, but he was definitely ready, and he's better than Davidson because a lot of people are.
Oh yeah, Davidson's one of those guys where if you're down 10-1, you put him in. If you're up 10-1, you put him in. You don't put him in any other situation, because just. Yeah.
I'd actually rather have a position player.
Yeah, but again, with the way Nevin uses the bullpen, they need extra arms, unfortunately, and that's why Stefanik will go down. Yeah.
Just Todd, if they throw 2 days in a row, they might need a good 7 years of rehab.
They'll need Tommy John
automatically. Physical therapy, Tommy John, everything.
Yeah, that's what Nevin thinks.
If they throw 2 days in a row, they might. I mean, you might kill them.
Yeah, exactly. All right, Hunter. We'll talk to you tomorrow. Come on tomorrow after the doubleheader, because we'll be on here too, talking more baseball.
Yep.
We'll see. All right, later. All right, that's Hunter right there. If you guys want to call in, let's see. Giolito provides innings. I already saw that one right there. Let's see. Going down, we got more comments. Boy, you guys are all in this one. Honkism is worse than communism. Damn. It's the Halo Honk line.
Hey Todd, I'm here to say we did it. This is a team that's buying. Arden Moreno is my favorite owner in all of the world. I'm going to listen to the Sports Lodge tomorrow with my favorite host, Roger Lodge. I'm the biggest Halo honk right now. This team is making it all the way. We're re-signing Lucas Giolito to a 10-year contract, $36 million. This team is going to be insane for the next 10 years. And just while we're at it, we're going to extend Rendon one more time. We're going to run it back.
Boy, I just gave you a bunch of honks right there. I look, man. Look, I appreciate the sarcasm and the honkism at the same time, but I just feel that, because right here, there in the comments, people are saying that he's a SoCal guy. He might re-sign with the Angels if he likes it here. I hope so. I mean, that would be nice. I mean, he's been a pretty consistent pitcher now for a few years, so he's got a resume. That's always good. But I'm interested to see, man, because I just something in my gut says we're getting somebody nice from the Braves. We're not getting, obviously a real starter, but like we're gonna get some, someone that we could pull up like a bullpen piece, and because the Braves are loaded, they could part with an arm or so, and there's a bunch of teams out there that, like we brought it up on the post game yesterday. There's 11 teams actively just throwing in the towel, and so there's gonna be players available, and it's just do you have what it takes? And I'm kind of surprised, but then not really. I mean, this means the Angels are completely in on Ohapi and dude for the rest, for the next few seasons. I think they're locked in. And Wallach is a guy that they could pass on, obviously, but I think you're looking at a tandem of Ohapi being your starter and Theis just coming off the bench after smoking a good one.
I think we get two more pieces. I asked this on Twitter. I was like, who's getting bumped from the rotation of the 20-man? And someone responded. They were like either Tucker, Berea, or Suarez. I think all three of those guys are gone. Like they're either getting sent down or DFA'd or traded in the next coming days. Because this team's not to sound honkish, but this team is there. Like, we have enough players. I think we should just get rid of the farm system right now. Go all out.
No.
Go all out. This is Ohtani's last season. Hopefully not. But we can rebuild.
But we just started to rebuild the minor league system, and it's not at the top. You can't empty the cupboards either. You got to think of the future just in case you can't. Because, I mean, again, if Ohtani's giving you his word and he's giving you a gentleman's shake, then maybe you can. But I doubt that severely, bro. You can't empty the cupboard because we saw what this minor league system looked like between the years of 2016 to just 2020-21. It was shit. And Perry's done a nice job of bringing it back to respectability. It ain't the greatest, but it's you're seeing talent, and I would hate for them to empty the cupboard, but it just goes to show you now who's available. Adele's still sought out by a lot of teams. A lot of teams are looking at him like a broken toy with the Angels, just like Brandon Marsh. The Phillies saw something in Brandon Marsh and they were like, we can fix that guy, and they fixed him. And fortunately, we fixed their broken toy with Moniak. So we have another broken toy that a lot of people are looking at, and that's Joe Adele. And I guarantee you, like a lot of people think that his trade value is down. I don't think so. I think there's a team or two out there that are like, man, just with a right adjustment here and there, the mindset, he can be an all-star. And they might give us something good for him.
Yeah, I would honestly, it's been talked about, like, I feel like every single trade deadline, but Adele's gone this year for sure, especially with the way that we're projecting up. I think he's gone to, like you mentioned earlier, like a team like Atlanta. We trade him, maybe a bullpen piece. We're not getting, or I saw a good face back. This is honestly, from what I'd rather have it Estevez than that guy again. But I feel like we trade him to Atlanta. We get a bullpen piece back.
I don't think he would. I don't think he would go for a bullpen. My thing with Atlanta would be trading another minor leaguer for a guy that's like knocking on the door that hasn't come up yet, that could provide that kind of Frankie Rodriguez shock value to the American League. Hasn't been seen, But an Adele can get you with a right combination of a couple players, throwing a Renifo and a Ward, could get you back another good starter. That's who I'm thinking that Adele would go for. But
Yeah, I think
it wouldn't be Atlanta. It'd be somebody else.
Yeah, I was talking to my dad about this right now, because I've been going like off the walls. Like I just ate like a whole bunch of sugar about this trade, and I've been going back and forth from my room to go talk to him in the living room, and it's just I was talking to him. I was like, the Renifo and Renfro need to go. Like they have not been. Renifo has been production. His production has been a little more lately, which is better for us because then his trade value is a little more up since he's been on the uphill right now. But Renifo, he's gone. We might have a possibility of signing him in the off season, but I think that we should end that train. He had his ride here. Like it's done. We trade both of them, and we get someone good. I mean, I don't care if it's just a rental for the next 2 months or 3 months if we make it to the postseason, but we need to make the push. And if we don't, I'm gonna honk my horn on the Roger Lodge Sports Lodge, and I will literally go on there and spread my positivity everywhere.
Well, Roger has spread his positivity all over that booth tomorrow, the little sound booth he's got there at the AM 830 studios at the house the Cowboy built that Artie made so much better, a.k.a. the Big A. I'm going to, Tony myself. But just tell him that, you're so happy that you want to show him your honk.
Also, speaking of showing honks, I got to say, for any of these Dodger fans listening to this right now, stop saying you're going to get everyone. You're not going to get everyone. We got Lucas Giolito, and we're going to keep Ohtani. So, just got to say, enjoy this honk.
All right, Vetter. Good call, my man.
All right. See you, Todd.
Right.
Talk to you tomorrow.
You got it. Later. That's Vetter right there. Because we're not going to hear this tomorrow.
Anymore. I just can't. And they can fire me if they want, but I can't sit around and listen to negative phone call after negative phone call. If you're a so-called Angel fan, if you're a Halo honk for life like me, then shut up with Sosha's gotta go. It's this guy's fault. It's that guy's fault. Forget it. Let it go. We got a lot of baseball left to be played, and the season starts tonight.
Yeah, the season's going to be starting tomorrow with a doubleheader. That's what we need. Let's see. Don't forget the Angels will resign Trout to run him back another 10 years, $440 million. Marlins do have a bona fide pitchers. Let's get them. They do have a nice stock of pitchers, but what to get them with? I doubt you can call a soda machine for rent or get a soda machine for Renfro. Especially one of those ones that has the suction ones. You'd have to get the old school ones where you have to like knock it if the can gets stuck. Dodgers will take Renifo and will make him an all-star. That's probably what's going to happen. But again, you have a lot of, if we look at what's happening today as far as the standings are concerned in the American League, let's check it out. Hold on. Let's see. I had it right here. Because there was some teams that won today, and unfortunately we weren't one of them because we didn't play. But if you look at it here, okay, so the standings are as follows right now. Texas actually beat the shit out of Houston, so they pick up a game. So Houston losing kind of helps the Angels in a way, because the wild card is like this. The Angels sit back at 4 flat because Toronto won, taking away that half game we gained yesterday. So Yankees are 2.5 back. Boston's a 1.5 games back. Toronto, like I said, won today against the Dodgers. That leaves the Angels 4 games back. But Houston we're only 5 back of them. So we're not that far back of catching Houston if Texas were to turn it on, but I have a feeling it's going to be the other way around. Houston's got 2 more games with Texas. So I think that's going to change things a little bit. I think Houston's going to wind up overtaking Texas, and they're gonna be going back and forth with that second wild card spot unless Toronto passes them or we can catch Toronto. Now it is huge, and when I mean huge, it's huge. We have that 3-game series in Toronto. Toronto beat us 2 out of 3 because they hit the shit out of the ball last time we played them here in Anaheim, and that was earlier in the season. So those 3 games coming up for the Angels after the 2 games tomorrow, it's imperative that the Angels can sweep that doubleheader tomorrow. They absolutely have to sweep that doubleheader because you can't afford to fall any further back. You never know what the Dodgers are going to do or the Blue Jays. They're good teams, but they're very hot and cold. And knowing our luck, the Dodgers will roll over for Toronto in the next game. So we need, hopefully, the Dodgers to win tomorrow. And I hate saying that. It's almost like verbal diarrhea as I say it. But best case scenario, they beat Toronto tomorrow, and we could sweep the Tigers and pick up a game and a half to where we're 2.5 games back of Toronto heading into the 3-game series, to where at least you got to win 2 out of 3 to get within 1.5 of Toronto. A sweep would be perfect, but things like that don't happen to the Angels. So you got to think practical and think a Rally Chris special 2 out of 3 against Toronto would be great, because then you'd be sitting only a game and a half out, and you've got Atlanta, which is not going to be easy. And then, I believe the Angels got Seattle after that, which has been playing better ball. So it's literally like I don't want to look ahead, but all I'm going to look forward to tomorrow is taking that doubleheader. I mean, those 2 games have to be won. I mean, you cannot lose to Detroit. That game against Pittsburgh hurt when they couldn't beat and sweep them. So they cannot afford to lose these next 2. They absolutely have to win. It's the Halo Honk line.
Hi, Todd.
What is up, Grillmaster?
Not much. I know 2 nights in a row. If you have a new record soundbite, you might as well play that.
A new record? No, I don't have the new
record.
A
new record!
Well, what's up, man?
If you had it, you would have played it the night that we had the 25-run game. I wanted to talk about my thought on the trade.
Okay, let's hear it.
I didn't think that it was going to be minor leaguers that we gave up, and I know obviously everybody on the show had some high hopes about Cuero, but I honestly didn't see him getting a shot because we still have LOH, and he's only really played not even a full season. He's really only played still like a cup of coffee at the major league level due to the torn labrum.
Correct.
So giving up Cuero doesn't really make me all that disappointed. Kai Bush, don't know a whole lot about him. No, not related to the presidents who were Bush, but what do you know about Cuero? Or I mean, not Cuero, Bush.
Well, that he's a tall left-handed pitcher, taller than Sandoval. He has a good fastball, good breaking ball, highly touted out of the minors, good family kid. Was going to blow through the system and was doing pretty good in his first season. Made it up to Rocket City, after being drafted. So he was coming through the system pretty quick. But then he went on like the 60-day IL down there, and he's barely pitched in 6 games since being up, and he has a 1-4 record with a 7-some-odd ERA. So he wasn't.
That's not good.
No, he wasn't balling out after the leg trouble. So that's why I think he became expendable.
I would have thought that we had to give up a roster player of ours, like a Rengifo or something, or even a Michael Stefanik.
No, I would have been pissed if it was Stefanik, but Rengifo, I would have said yeah, because we've seen the Rengifo song and dance already too long. He'll never be that 270.
Yeah, we have.
He'll never be that 270 hitter that we thought he could be. So, I think
you would have loved it if it was Squid. You would have gone streaking down your street if Squid had been traded. Seriously.
Oh, absolutely. There's no doubt. I mean, I would have been just going crazy because, like, dude, getting rid of Squid in any way is good. Is a win for the Angels organization. So I would have took that in a heartbeat.
you would have popped the champagne that he would have been gone.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, right now I'm drinking those Simply Spiked, and I'm already happy. But if it was that case, yes, I would have been streaking. I would have been stripping, the whole nine.
We're going streaking. Other things to note. So Giolito's a local product of Southern California. He's actually from Santa Monica, which is an area that I'm actually near right now.
Yes.
I'm actually near Santa Monica because I was out with my girlfriend today. We were down at Playa del Rey.
Oh, nice. It's a nice area.
Speaking of Santa Monica, I just turned left on the Santa Monica Boulevard. So, yeah, I'm headed home now from my date night.
Okay.
Yeah, it was a fun one. It was hot today down at Playa del Rey Beach, but it was still fun regardless. So Giolito is interesting because there was a stretch there where he was kind of bad for a while. He had I think it was the start of 22 or this year. I think he had a 5 ERA and a 1-4 record.
Yeah,
So Giolito does worry me a little bit.
He started bad last year too, but then he got it going. So I mean, this year again, a little bit of a slow start, but no, I think he's on it. He's on a good path right now. Huh?
What is his record?
6-6 with a 3.79 ERA or 3.76.
Solid. And Ronaldo Lopez. The thing I know with Lopez, he's been a starter in the past. Now he's a reliever, and he's a multi-inning reliever sometimes. He's also started against the Indians. I know Mike Trout has 2 career homers against him.
He does throw hard, and he has way more strikeouts than innings pitched. So that's really good. He's I think at 1.4 strikeouts per inning.
Interesting.
So it's gonna be I think if you're thinking a pitcher to compare him to, would be Soriano. So just think of if we had 2 Sorianos.
Okay, and Soriano has been good so far. He has a hard curveball and he only has that hard fastball and curveball.
Yes. So.
Which reminds me of that guy we traded to the Twins actually in the offseason, Ollie Ortega.
Mm-hmm. Well,
even though Ollie Ortega sucks.
I just like this pickup. I think, for as much as we gave credit for Cuero, and again, that's a guy that could bite us in the ass too later. Who knows? But he was struggling with Rocket City, so it's not like he was tearing the cover off the ball either. But those are 2 needs that the White Sox needed. Obviously, they lost Lynn. They were going to lose Giolito. They got Cease still, but they're going to need to build for the future, and they're thinking Kai Busch could be there next year or the year after, and as a starter. And then you look at Cuero as a catcher for the future because again they got Grandal or whatever his name is over there, and they have another
Yasmani Grandal.
Yeah, and he's
that
been
veteran guy who hits a ton of home runs, but that's 170.
Yeah, he sucks. He hasn't been the same for a couple of years now. So they gave him a lot of money, and he'll likely either be traded or gone after this year. So that's Cuero's job now, dude. He's they're pretty much saying, hey man, we're giving you the golden ticket. You just do your thing in the minors, make your way up here. So
who wins the trade?
Only time will tell, but right now in the short term, it looks good for the Angels.
And then my other question is this. The likes of both of our acquisitions are going to be free agents this offseason.
Mm-hmm.
Do we bring any back? Do we bring one? Do we bring both? What do you think?
Of the ones that we just traded? Or, Giolito?
Do we bring Giolito back? Do we bring Lopez back? Neither. One. Both.
It's an audition right now, and a lot's. You're obviously not going to sign Giolito without knowing if you got Ohtani or not. Everything, and I mean everything, depends on what Ohtani does. So there is literally no move to be made until we know where Ohtani's head is. So it'd be nice to get Giolito back because people are saying he's a SoCal native, but there's literally no move that's going to be made until we know what.
He's from the city of Santa Monica.
Yeah, I know. But again,
and he was that trio at Harvard Westlake.
The only thing I hope is that we have a fast resolve to the Ohtani question. I hope it's not drug out to where we're waiting on him to make an answer and other free agents are signing other places. I hope we
it's like when football players hold out on big contracts.
Yeah, it's got to be something quick, and hopefully, if it's a rip the Band-Aid off type moment, then let's do it and move on. I don't want to be sitting there waiting like the Ohtani watch goes into week 5. It's like while other free agents are signing, guys we could have re-signed are leaving. That's gonna really hurt us. So I rather know right away, like, shit, man, we're getting this guy or we're not. Let's move forward.
Because we have quite a few free agents coming. I mean, Renfro's a free agent, Gio's a free agent. Our 2 new acquisitions are free agents as well, among others.
Yeah, there's a ton of 1-year contracts. So this team, I mean, Angel fans don't know or haven't thought about it yet, but if Ohtani stays or goes, either way, this team is going to look completely different next year.
I mean, and there's another important thing to note here for everybody, in case you guys haven't been reading. For I believe the first time under the ownership of one Arturo Moreno, the Angels are officially over the luxury tax.
Yeah, they pointed that out already. Yeah.
Now, what do we think about this?
What, them being over the luxury tax?
Yeah.
He's just trying to be a competent owner for once.
It feels weird, and you might have read my comment in there. Not the luxury tax, quote Artie.
Yeah. I mean, it's just, like I said, like, how committed is he? Like, again, this is uncharted waters. So we'll have to see. I mean, to me, if a team makes a move this early, they're not close to done. They're going to be pulling the trigger a lot more. So we'll see. I'm interested.
Dodgers have already made 2 moves.
Yeah.
Of course, you saw they acquired Enrique Hernandez, and then they dumped Thor to Ohio, and they took back, I believe, Ahmed Rosario.
Yeah, they're making moves to make more moves. So they're not done. I mean, to me, it's like the Angels and Dodgers are doing what the old saying is, which is the early bird gets the worm. So they're starting early. They're not waiting to the last minute. So hopefully that's a good thing. We're going to get more in return.
I hope it's a good thing as well. Well, I am going to let you go. I am currently cruising down the 405 on my way back to the OC. This was a good trade. Hopefully, Giolito, I think he'll pitch in the Toronto series if we move, Shohei to pitch tomorrow. Does this mean Siltset's going to get sent down?
I don't know. I was thinking it's going to be Geraldo and or Gerardo and freaking Stefanik, but we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah, because Drury's on the way, I think, and if that's the case, I think it should be Squid that's sent down because Drury actually plays decent defense.
I think Nevin would put his mother down before he put Velasquez, but that's just me. We'll have to see.
Goddamn.
Yeah, he loves him some Squid. So.
Holy calamari. All right.
Oh, jeez. All right, bro.
Well, I'm going to let you go. Back to the show. Let's see how good Giolito does, and let's go Angels.
Yep, there you go. All right, so I was wrong a little bit on the Dodgers. They do not play tomorrow. I thought they had one more with Toronto, but they don't. So the Angels still can't pick up a game and a half. Thanks, Dominique, and a couple others. Mateo checked in with that one, too. Dodgers did already lose that series. My bad. Somebody pick a name says, remember when Oakland won 20 in a row and the Angels had won 17 out of 20? Yeah, they hung with them, and that's why they were able to make the postseason right there. Also, he says, my point is, regardless of what the teams are doing, as long as the Angels just play their game, the Angels are in control of their own destiny. That's all you can want from them. But in control of their own destiny means competent coaching, and we don't have that. I'm hoping that changes. Play the Dean Scream soundbite, how I feel. Yeah, R. Martinez is in this kind of mode right now. Rogers' new slogan should be the house that the cowboy built that Manasseh had made so much better. Exactly. Dan says, oh shit, you went live. Indoor voice grill. Todd has a volume set up. Let's let Giolito pitch first and see how he does. Yeah, you can't talk about extensions until the dude gets here and actually does his thing. Artie's track record to make the best offer for a free agent and then move on. We will know the status of Ohtani really soon into the free agency season. I hope so, Little Wayne. Angels need Cobb and Lorenzen for another run. Man, Alex Cobb was nice here, and so was Lorenzen. There's a subtle hint into Ohtani's psyche. He gave up $194 million to leave Japan 2 years early to come play with Trout. That's true. Sleepy Joe's last brain cells has more value than Rendon, Sports News says. He also gave up his all-star money to the clubhouse staff. That was nice, too. But that's also because he makes 60-some-odd million a year on endorsements. So there's that. So it looks like the poll right now, if we end it right now with 69 votes, 69, 92% love the trade, 7% said no. Mateo says, so hopefully I get meaningful baseball in August and September. And boy, oh boy, Mateo, you just might get it. It all depends on what happens in the next few days. I've been saying it over and over like a broken record. But not only do they have to pull trades between now and then, they have to win these games. I mean, I can't stress it enough because, okay, so I was wrong on Toronto playing the Dodgers. They lost. They beat the Dodgers in Game 1. Toronto then blew the Game 2, but then they blew out the Dodgers yesterday. So their next 3 do start with the Angels on Friday, Saturday, Sunday. But here's where it gets a little interesting. And I mean a lot interesting. After we play them, depending on if we're able to hang with them, take 2 out of 3, or God forbid we lose in 1 out of 3 or something like that, we only win 1 out of 3, they've got a 4-game series with first place Baltimore. So Baltimore has been playing really good baseball. Then they go to Boston, which Boston has been playing much better. 3-game series. They took on the Braves, went head-to-head with them. And then they have the Ohio Shitfucks in Ohio Shitfuck Stadium for 4 games. And that's, Ohio's kind of but they can score every now and then. And after that, it's like the Cubs and Phils. And then they got the Reds. So their month is kind of difficult, whereas, the Angels, again, we have some tough opponents coming up. If you look at our schedule, 3 with Toronto, and then we go to Atlanta while they're playing Baltimore, so it's not much easier for us. That's probably the best team in the National League, and we go to their house, and we have to hear their tomahawk chop and their fans, which are some of the best fans in all of baseball, I've got to admit. And then we have 4 games set at home against the Mariners, 3 games also with the Giants, second place, and then it's that team that always kicks the shit out of us, Houston in Houston, Texas in Texas, and then Tampa Bay, and then the Reds. We don't get a pushover till we play the Mets. And if you would have said the Mets were a pushover in the beginning of the season, I would have laughed. But damn, we have a schedule coming up. So again, 1 game at a time, people. And tomorrow we got a doubleheader against the Detroit Tigers. So let's focus on that, and hopefully somehow, some way we can navigate through this with better players and better coaching. Papa John's. It's the Halo Honk Line.
Yo, Todd, how's it going?
I'm all right. How are you doing?
Good. I was just getting to work, and then I checked my phone. Just saw the Lucas Giolito trade. I thought that was pretty awesome. And it's it's good timing, I believe, because I know today, the Angels announced officially that Ohtani is off the market. So, at least for me, I mean, maybe you feel the same way. I'm just sick and tired of all this bullshit, these mock trades with Ohtani. Don't get me wrong, like some of them sound all right, but I'm at the point where I'm like, you know what, the Angels they're playing pretty good baseball now. Let's keep him. And then today we finally just said, you know what, he's off the market, guys. So you guys could stop getting wet over Ohtani.
Yeah, that's basically what I said in the beginning. It's like they don't know what to talk about because that's the guy that they wanted to push on the rest of the league. They wanted to make the huge story and cover it because wherever he would get traded to, it's a mass media frenzy. Everyone's going to be just, all over it like flies on shit. So they don't have that story now. They're not able to break that, and that's probably pissing them off. But in one way, now here come the stories of wow, the Angels really missed their ticket. They had an opportunity. Now they blew it. Now he's going to walk. Well, they don't know. And now
nobody knows. Yeah.
Yeah, so right now, like, the only thing, and it pains them to say it, but as an Angels fan, like you said right now, just move on and ignore the bullshit. You know, we're not going to see him in a Dodger jersey. We're not going to see him in all these jerseys that have been popping all over our feeds. Now it's just like, hey, focus in on these games, and as long as we're continuing to be in the playoff race, whether it's a game out, a game up, then that's all we want, and we focus in every game moving forward and ignore the bullshit, you know. And so we have a week more of who are we going to get now, because now obviously the luxury tax is not a problem, and Perry's been given the green light. So shit, let's see what happens next.
Yeah, I totally believe that we do need another bat. There's, you know, a couple holes in there, you know, and it's crazy without Neto playing, this lineup does look a different way, and I'm not in a good way. You know, it's been like, you know, they do need another bat. You know, I wouldn't mind if they would trade for Renfroe or throw in Ward in there, or fuck the two guys that I can't stand, Rengifo or Velasquez. You know, if they were to trade either 4 bats there, you know, to get another strong bat, like let's say Bellinger, for example. You know, he's hot. You know, we need somebody else that's hot in that lineup that can provide that contact, that clutch, you know, hit that, you know, with runners in scoring position. That's what I believe what the Angels need. I know there was another trade floating around, some guy from the Nationals. I just saw the article, but you know which guy they're talking about for the Nationals?
Yeah, it's Jeimer Calminari or something like that. I'll pull him up right now because I was going over his stats earlier. That's the guy that guess they're in pretty deep talks with. It's Candelario, Jeimer. Yeah, he's got a WAR of 3.0 and 354 at bats so far. He plays third base. He's got a 257 average and 16 homers and 51 RBIs. And so he's got like a 334 on base percentage.
Yeah, that's pretty decent. That's something that this team does need because, you know, with the 2 additions with like Escobar and Moustakas, Moose, however, I'm very pleased with. But with Escobar, I mean, he hasn't really shown much. I mean, he's gotten a couple extra base hits here and there, but not as much as the Angels fans wanted to see. So I believe that the Angels should get another bat. I have a bad feeling that they might fucking throw in Stefanik into a trade, which would suck because he's such a good kid. I want to see him play, but he's just collecting dust the last couple games ever since that walk-off.
That is my worry too, bro. Like that's what my automatic thinking is gonna go to because, you know, if a team looks at Rengifo and they're like, you know, in the minors he could probably do his thing, but he can't. You know, he's not much better than a 220 hitter at best. But this Stefanik kid, you know, he's been lighting it up. He just hasn't gotten the playing time. Again, other teams will look at him and be like, well, he's just a toy that hasn't been used right yet. We can fix him. We can make him better. And I think a team might, you know, because I already think that Stefanik's going down, bro. Like I think we'll see the movement and the transactions tomorrow when everything's finalized. I think we'll see him being set down, which is going to suck. But you know, they're not using him anyway.
Yeah, you know, it's sad. It's sad to have him called up and only play just not even a full game. You know, just having him picked up off the bench. You know, it's just I think it's complete bullshit. But
dude, he's literally 5 for 13 this year, and you're not starting him. You rather play a guy who gets 1 hit in every 12 at bats.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. And after seeing the game, yesterday and the last homestand with Velasquez, I know for a fact he's going to be on the field. No, now the Neto's back, thank God. You know, got to keep him in there. But yeah, it's just I love to see Stefanik back, but I just got a feeling he might be on the way out with some other trade. I know the Angels aren't done. They gotta keep the foot on the gas. You know, they do need like I said, another bat, maybe another pitcher to solidify that back end of the bullpen, and then really gotta push these next 2 months.
Yeah, they gotta play at their top game because again, if you're getting like the only thing I just keep looking at, no matter who they get, we still got Rendon at third base. You know, and the thing is too, I mean, like you're gonna start having log jams because you're gonna need to play a guy who's become a leader like Moustakas. You know, he's got 8 RBIs in his last 7 games. He's been playing solid third base and first base. It's just, damn, what do you do now? You know, so now you're gonna ask a manager who's already overwhelmed in most, you know, versus a manager, you know, he's getting out coached every other game. And now you're going to ask him to make more critical decisions. It's like, fuck, dude, that's, again, I cringe because it's like, what if all these trades are made and they're the correct ones, but the coaching staff holds us back?
Yeah. I mean, I hope, this is just me thinking, wishful thinking here, like Perry, just be like, look, dude, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to get guys. We need to get this team in the playoffs. All right. So I'm going to give you the guys. You need to plug them in the right way. None of this bullshit of you pulling out moves or pulling out cabbage. Look, put these motherfuckers in the lineup. Let them play. You know what I'm saying? Like that's my wishful thinking there. What Perry would tell Nevin. But you're right, though. It does come down to coaching too. You know, I really do hope that Nevin really doesn't screw these last 2 months up because they're huge. They're really big. You know?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, now we are definitely going to be thinking about those games we should have won earlier in the year, right?
Oh yeah, totally. And then I'm like speaking like into the future, you know, like off season, you know, like depending on like how, like let's say Moose does and Giolito does and Lopez, for example, these guys that we got, depending on how they do. I mean, do I want to see them back? I mean, yeah, if they're doing good, but then that's another question. With Ohtani, like re-signing him, that's a big one. That's probably the biggest, you know, signing in MLB history. So like if they do re-sign Ohtani, let's say, like, you know, again, wishful thinking, we're probably not going to have some of the guys that we got during the second half.
Yeah.
You know, it all depends on how they do. Like you said, it's an audition for these guys, and you know, Moose is pretty much doing a good job. You know, he's showing that leader in the clubhouse, and I'm really hoping Lucas really does pick up some slack with his team and eats up some good innings because that's what we need. You know, so these guys need to know their roles, and you know, I'm hoping for the best for these next 2 months.
Yeah, me too. I mean, this is what we want to watch the Angels for, is meaningful games, and if the right moves are made, you know, they can hopefully use that talent the right way and get further than we've seen them get in quite some time, because it's been a long time since we've been to the postseason. So.
Oh yeah, dude, I think I was a freshman or sophomore in high school.
Yeah,
that's how long it's been. So. I'm due. I know everyone's due. All the Angel fans are due. But, I mean, they made a statement today. I think that they got to keep going. They got a couple more days. Let's get another bat, you know. Let's get another arm. And go Halos, you know.
Absolutely. Appreciate the call.
All right, Todd. Take it easy.
You got it, man. All right, later. James says it perfectly right here. I'd play the song, but I'd get copyrighted. The Van Halen song. Right now, right here, right now, it's your tomorrow. That's the hook from the song. You need to win now. When they used to play that song, in I believe 1997, that was their song. That was the battle cry for the Angels. Right here, right now, it's your tomorrow. Don't waste another day. You know, that's what the Angels got to do. You know, play every game like it's a playoff game, and I would like some mentality to change. I'd like the whole resting guys to stop. And unless you're really nurturing a real injury, you know, you got to, you know, you're a starter, play your role. And if you can't perform, next man up. And I think that's what Perry's trying to do with these guys coming back. Think about the guys we're getting back. I mean, you're getting Neto, you're getting Drury, you're getting Ohapi next month, you're getting Trout. You know, so you're gonna add some bang to this lineup with already guys who have filled in. Like, I know he's not Urshela, but you got Escobar. You know, you have Stefanik, but they're not using him. He's gonna go down. Renifo's there on the bench. Not really so happy with him, but you got, you know, other players that are going to be coming in here that if you get Candelaro from Washington. Renifo's gone. Velasquez is gone. You've got your depth there. And then, love him or hate him, Rendon will be back. And so, again, you're getting the lineup back and possibly stronger than it's been all year. You got the Moniak factor that he's been tearing it up, although we didn't like his error, but that's few and far between. His mistakes aren't as highlighted as much because he doesn't have them as much. But yeah, this team could round into something good. And with Giolito at number 2 behind Ohtani, possibly Sandoval pitching a little bit better. You got Canning who's making a bid for 3, but if it all works out, we get another starter and you push Sandoval and Canning further down in the rotation to take that pressure off of them. And now you're setting yourself up with, God forbid, the Angels have a 3-headed monster maybe. It's Giolito's no Randy Johnson or Kurt Schilling in their prime, but he's a guy that can log innings and a guy who could get strikeouts and a guy who could hold a lead once he gets one. And you couple that with what Ohtani can do, good things are going to happen just with those 2 guys. But if you add another guy to that mix, we could be onto something. But we got to worry about what the Angels do because obviously other teams are going to be making trades. The Rangers have checked in on Bellinger. They're likely they've got to get a starter. They're in the same boat we are. They need another starter to go along with Evaldi. They really got, they've been mashing their way to wins, but when they can't pitch, they get lit up too. And their bullpen's not that strong. They went out and got Chapman to go along with Smith. So their bullpen's looking a little bit better, but they're going to probably add another piece or 2. Houston's going to do Houston things like they always do. And then you can't overlook Seattle. Seattle's going to make some trades, but Seattle and Toronto remind me of teams like the Angels in past that'll make trades and they wait to the very last minute to do those set trades. So the aggressive ones, the early birds that get the worm, were the Dodgers and the Angels so far. Making those aggressive first pushes in the trade deadline week window. So you still got till next Tuesday. I don't think the Angels are done. I think that they're going to make a few good trades between now and then and hopefully a couple at the last minute too. And we'll see how bolstered and how stacked this team becomes. And we'll definitely know where the Angels' mindset is and where their record's going to be because, again, we finished that game against Toronto, and that's the trade deadline. Or actually, no, the trade deadline is going to be while we're 1 game into the Atlanta series. So we're going to be done with Toronto. We're going to know exactly how close we are with them, and we'll played 1 game against a very tough Braves team, and then we'll have an idea about what we got come Tuesday before the game, because the game's going to be a 4:20 kickoff, first pitch here, and then the deadline is at 3:00. So barring anything that, they make those trades like at 2:55 and then they're not registered in and it takes them about a half hour, 40 minutes, we'll know by game time exactly the final moves if there are any at that time for the Angels. Alex says we want Stroman. Somebody says Stefanik for 100% sure going down, but only because our pen gets worn so quickly, so we need the numbers in the pen versus the bench. Stroman will give the Angels rotation a little edge and confidence and attitude. Let's see. I want Phil Fuck gone, Mr. Move says. Swilly says, I'm so happy. Oh, my God. So she's honking her honk. Broman says, how about this? Get Giolito now. See what happens next 6 games before deadline and flip Giolito for a bigger fish, Stroman or Bellinger. I don't know about that. Drury and Trout will boost this lineup for sure. Angel Central says, Sean Allen says, we already got 6 starters now. I doubt we will trade for another starter. I think we will, though, Sean. I think we will. I think you have to. And maybe we include one of those guys in a move. Let's see. Does Silseth go to the pen now that Giolito is in the rotation, or does he go back to AAA? I think he goes back to AAA because they want him to be a rotational guy, and they started in the bullpen with him, or started in the rotation in spring training, went to the bullpen with him, and then they're going back to him being a starter. He's more effective as a starter, so I think you'll see him make another shot at the rotation next year with these trades, because I do think they're going to go for another one. Let's see. Kickoff. Are you already thinking about football season? Actually, I'm not. I want Strokin, Mr. Stroman. Locked on Angels checks in. Todd, give us if yeah, smell what the Perry is cooking. Yes, I do. If you smell what Perry's cooking, Perry might be cooking some playoffs. So thank you, Locked On. By the way, if you haven't listened to, if you listen to our podcast, you got to listen to the Locked On podcast with the Angels guys there, Super Halo Brothers. They are freaking awesome. Those guys break it down pretty good. And they're going to, I think they already did a show tonight, or at least a little short. I saw that on my feed just before I went live. But check their show out tomorrow. I'm pretty sure they're going to have a recap and about everything, breaking down with the trades, because they've been breaking down some stuff pretty good. I gotta admit, Locked On does a really good job right there, and so definitely check theirs out, and check out Angels Centrals as well. Where does Bachman fit into the pen? You know what, Bachman to me would be a perfect seventh inning guy, throwing fire right before you throw the crafty Moore, and then you go with Esteves with that fastball going all over the place. That would be my 7th, 8th, and 9th inning. But that would only work if you have basically if you have guys that could play back-to-back nights. I just they don't do it. They go with the load management. And if it was old school Angels and Socia, they would go that formula, I believe, or something similar to that, sort of like how they used to do back in the day with Shields, Percival, and Rodriguez and things like that, or Donnelly and Shields and stuff like that. But yeah, on a Nevin basis, you're gonna maybe one night get that, and then the next night get Loop and Webb. It does, you don't know. What about Joyce, though? Joyce is starting to throw a little bit, but they are really nursing him back. Apparently, that was more of a scare than that was damage or anything. That was a long-term injury. So he just doesn't want to wind up in that same situation of any kind of nerve damage or any kind of, more surgery. So you might not see him till about August, too. I know that it's not really a setback with him. They're just taking a real big caution. They've got the caution flag out while he's circling the turn there as a NASCAR reference. But I think he'll eventually come back into the fold. But who will go down, I don't know, because you'd love to have him pitch, and have a flamethrower like that as well. So I'm sure at some point they'll get him back. So again, there's a lot of players that are going to be eligible to come back very soon here. So we'll see what happens. Mr. Move says Loop is poop. Also, boom, a trade idea. Send Squid, maybe Renfro to Washington for crack from the White House, and no one knows who left it there. Well, that anonymous person would have to leave it there again, and then we could bust the trade. That would be the third trade. Emmett says, do you think the Angels have enough to trade for Arenado? No. And that would be another huge contract, and that would be a third baseman that wouldn't fit what we got because he'd have to get rid of Rendon. Rendon's contract is obviously a killer. So there's just there's no way for the Angels to entertain that. I mean, listen, if Perry can somehow trade Rendon, because first of all, Rendon has to say that he's healthy. I mean, he's not on the IL or nothing like that, but he's just not making himself eligible to play. But if he's able to trade somehow Rendon in this next week, give that man a 30-year contract as general manager. I mean, that is one of the best moves of all time if he's able to pull that. But I don't see it. Because we all know Rendon ain't coming back till July until 2025. Let's see. Oh my God, can you imagine Nolan on the Halos? It would be nice, but I mean, there's nowhere to put him, and that we're already over the luxury tax. What up, Todd Fox? What up, Dimitro? Todd, how does Artie say it when he told Perry to go for it? Let's hear it. Oh, so here's my impersonation of Artie Moreno. It goes a little something like this. Perry's like, "What do I do, sir? We need to make some moves. I'd like to be aggressive. You know, are you all in, or what are we going to do? You got to let me know now. And then Artie, after sipping on his scotch, goes, well, I think, Perry, you should do what I told you to do, but go all in. Just take your tips and put them in with your cards, and we're going to go for it. We're going to go for everything. And then Perry's like, are you sure you want to go over the luxury tax, sir? I mean, you've never done this before. Unfinished business. We have to go all in. You cannot finish it. And Perry's like, I'll take that as a yes. Make the trade, Chicago. And that's how it went down. Let's see. So, definitely not a pragmatic situation in getting rid of Rendon's contract, but it's nice thought experiment. It would be. Pretty sure Loop and Renifo both have Artie and Nevin's nudes. That's how they play. Let's see. Also, trade Squid for a ticket to Disneyland. I think the ticket to Disneyland is far more. I mean, we'd win that trade easily. It's worth more, that's for sure. Whatever happened to the older dude that plays infield? Which that one, Silent E? Also, Sports News says, well, I believe the person that let the crack actually lives in the White House, but it's still a mystery. Let's see, the one that came out of retirement. Who came out of retirement? Anyone can be put on waivers. They should try Rendon. What's the worst that can happen? Exactly. Oh, Daniel Murphy. He's just not making it right now in the minor leagues. So, yeah, I don't see him making a move here. Oh, yeah, Daniel Murphy couldn't remember the name. It's your boy says he probably spits on Perry on the regular. Shake my head. Poor Perry's got to carry around multiple handkerchiefs. No, he has one of those police shields, you know, with a plastic covering over the face. Like, he has to flip it down. And then there's like chunks of like meat and, you know, saliva and everything all over. And he's got to like take the napkin or whatever and wipe or a wet nap or something and wipe the shield. Let's get Bellinger. Mr. Move says Angels farm system is last now after this trade. Need Joe Kelly in Halo Red. I wanted Joe Kelly after that whole, you know, the whole you know, raspberry he did. He's lost his luster a little bit to me. Josh Hamilton, how's he doing? Oh, geez, don't bring that name up. Artie is probably using Sleepy Joe's slogan for 2024. Let's finish the job. He's using something. But I think that'll do it for the show tonight. Appreciate everyone's comments and everyone chiming in, calling in. It's obviously a good night. There's a lot of stuff that is definitely different for the Angels this year compared to the last few years. I think the biggest trade I can remember is 2 seasons ago when we traded Andrew Heaney. I was so happy. That was my squid back in the day. I couldn't get rid of him faster, so when he went, I was celebrating. We still have that clip somewhere. But this one's definitely a good start. Keep in mind, guys, if you like what we did tonight, we will be going live on Tuesday. We will be doing not only a trade deadline special, going all the way up to game time of that game versus Atlanta, and we'll be doing a watch party too. So we're going to transition into a watch party and freaking do everything that we normally do from pregame to freaking postgame. So we're going to be live all day on the 1st. So keep that in mind. We'll be catching you up with all the trades that happened prior and then all the trades that are going to be running through the day. So we're probably going to start, if I had to say, we're probably going to get started around 11 in the morning, maybe even 10. And then we're going to go up until pregame of the Angels Braves. And then we're going to jump right into the game. So hopefully we'll have a lot more to talk about. And, hopefully everything we get more players, more additions, more positive things to talk about, because why the season can only start on one day. And when is that?
We got a lot of baseball left to be played, and the season starts tonight.
Exactly. We made these trades. The season starts tonight. Before you go, predict the moves. I can't, Mr. Moves. I wish I could. But Perry, I didn't see his Giolito trade coming. We had rumors about him being on the block and possibly, And there was a couple people that actually came on the post game and were like, I'd like to have Giolito on them all. Well, we'll see what happens. I mean, Chicago will be out of it, but will we make the move? And now we know they made the move. So we will definitely see. I'm not good in making predictions, so we'll see definitely when it comes down to it where we're going to go as an organization, because these next few days are going to spell out whether this team is making a very serious – because right now they're making a serious run now. Now we know they're going to make a real shot at the postseason, but are they how much are they going to really make a run tomorrow this year? Somebody's nickname says pick a name says you on tomorrow during the doubleheader pregame show? No, I'm not going to be on. I think James is going to be on the pregame show. I'll be at work, and I'll miss the first game for sure because that one starts at 10. So we won't do a post-game show for Game 2, but we will have a pregame show for Game 2, and then I'll be on the post-game show once it's all the dust settles for tomorrow, and then we'll do it that way. So tomorrow night I'll be on after the Game 2 game, and I'll recap Game 1 and Game 2 from there. So if you guys want to look forward to that, we got that going on for you guys tomorrow. Throwaway games, Broman brings up that we lost in April to Oakland 2-1, 12-11 in 9 innings versus Toronto. I was at that game in June. 4-3 loss to Ohio. That was the 2 home run game by what was it, a left-hander? I forgot his name. And then let's see. Also, he says 10-9 loss to Kansas City. Let's see, lost to a rookie July 6 runs in the 9th inning to Houston. 2 losses to Chicago. Yeah, that's 9 losses that he could think of right away. So thank you, bro, man. Everyone else have a good night. Tonight is a good night. So we'll take you out with the little like and share and all that other stuff. We'll see you guys tomorrow.
Live every night.